Good afternoon, everyone. To both those here at Yankee Stadium and to those watching today's pregame press conference stream on www.pinstripebowl.com. Today is game day, and we have reached the culmination of a fantastic week of Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl activities. Kickoff for today's matchup between the University of Miami and Rutgers University is 2:15 p.m., with the game televised by ESPN and broadcast nationally on ESPN Radio. Without further ado, let's meet the members of our dais from left to right. Joe Echeverria, University of Miami CEO. Dan Radakovich, University of Miami Vice President and Director of Athletics. Randy Levine, New York Yankees President. Mark Holtzman, Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl Executive Director. Jonathan Holloway, Rutgers University President. And Pat Hobbs, Rutgers University Director of Athletics. Thank you all for joining us. We will first hear from the members of our dais, then take a few questions, time permitting. Let us begin with Yankees President Randy Levine.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming, and welcome to the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. This has been a really exciting week for us, all because the two phenomenal institutions that are participating in this game, University of Miami and Rutgers, two phenomenal institutions who have great student bodies, great staff, great leadership, and a lot of ties to New York City and this area. Both have participated in the Pinstripe Bowl before, and we're so delighted to have both of your great universities back. It's been truly wonderful to partner with you as we move forward here, and I kind of think the weather's a little Miami-ish here today. I really do. So I want to thank Bad Boy Mowers because they're a phenomenal title sponsor. I want to thank ESPN, who's been our partner for a long time. Our friends at the Big Ten Conference and the Atlantic Coast Conference, who have been great partners with us for a long time, and Mark Holtzman, Johnny Mosley, and our entire staff here who put the Pinstripe Bowl together year after year. They've done a great job. The week's been great. I'll let Mark tell you a little about it, but what we try and do is put an experience together that no bowl game in the world can replicate, because nobody is in New York City, which is by far, capital of the world and has more diverse interests and people and things to do and see than any city in the world. And we want the players who are basically student athletes to experience it, from finance to culture to museums to just having a good time. So I always say, this is New York City this time of the year. It's the best time of the year, This is the time they make movies about it and sing songs and write songs and have Broadway shows. And we're all so happy that you're part of it with us today. We're going to have a really great attendance today. It's great. We always announce it in the second half once we know the accuracy of how many people are in the stadium. But I think it's a sure thing that this is going to be between 35 and 40,000 at a minimum. So thank you to Rutgers. Thank you to the University of Miami. Thank you for a great week, and turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Randy. We'll go over to Joe.
Thank you, and thank you, Randy, for that invitation and that welcome. On behalf of the University of Miami, first of all, I have to just pause. I'm in awe. For those of you who may not know, why would you know? I'm from the Bronx, born and raised, right down Longwood Avenue. It took me about 7 minutes to get to the stadium. Not this stadium, the two stadiums before then, okay? So this is just incredible experience for us at the university. So on behalf of the university, I want to thank the Yankee organization. Again, my hometown, my home team. And I want to recognize a couple of things. One, we are a young university. And when I say young, we're in our 98th year, which, yes, is young for universities. When Jonathan speaks, I think Rutgers is in year 200 plus. So we are young, but we are being recognized as a leading academic institution. We were recently admitted to the Association of Academic Universities, one of 70 in the United States. So we're on the rise. We recognize that athletics plays a large part in who we are. It helps us advance our mission around teaching, research, and taking care of patients. Having said that, there's a widely held view that the logo, the U, was created through our athletic prowess over a 50-year period of time. We can debate that, but I attended the University of Miami in 1973, and it was not called the U when I went to school. It was called a different U at the time, but we've gone, great lengths. I want to thank and congratulate Rutgers for a fantastic season and being willing to participate with us here today. And I want to make one final comment. The final comment is the Northeast is our largest alumni base in the United States, no surprise. And New York City is our largest alumni city in the United States, no surprise. So for me, a kid from the South Bronx, to be sitting here in front of all of you representing the University of Miami, we are the home team in my hometown in hallowed grounds. This is just unbelievable. So thank you to the organization. The hospitality has been fantastic.
Well, we're so happy you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. We'll go over to Dan.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Joe, for those kind words. As Joe stated, we're honored to be participating in the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium. All week the Yankees have been terrific hosts for our student athletes, our coaches and staff, and they've given us a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see some of New York's most memorable sights during the holidays, and for that we're truly grateful. We now have the privilege of playing Rutgers in Yankee Stadium, one of the most iconic venues in all of sports. We're very excited about the movement of our football program under Coach Cristobal, and today marks another opportunity for us to move forward and look ahead to what we hope is going to be a great day today and a great 2024. I want to thank the Steinbrenner family, Randy Levine, John Mosley, and Mark Holtzman, and the rest of the Yankees organization for their tremendous hospitality this week. I'd also like to thank Joe and Echeverria and our Executive Vice President Rudy Fernandez, who's here with us, and a member of our Board of Trustees, Ron Stone, who's here with us today, for their continued support of our athletic program at the University of Miami. I want to wish Pat, Greg, and President good luck in today's game. They've had a great season and certainly are deserving of being here. And finally, I'd like to thank our Hurricane fans, whether they're cheering us on here in the stadium today or watching on ESPN. They have been incredible all year long, and without their generous support of our student athletes, we wouldn't be able to be here. So thanks to all the Hurricane fans, and thanks again to the Yankees.
Thank you, Dan. We'll go over to Jonathan.
Thank you, and good afternoon. And I want to extend my thanks as well to the Bad Boy Mowers organization, Pinstripe Bowl, Yankees, for all of their hospitality. When I was in college several decades ago, that's enough information, I played football and went to a bowl game, still around, I won't mention which one. Things have changed, of course. So what you get, how you're welcomed, in terms of material resources, things are different, there's no doubt about it. But hospitality is an old thing. And you can measure that, you can hold that steady across time as a constant. And our university, our team, our players, our fans, our supporters have received a tremendous amount of it. So we're really appreciative of that. Now, you already heard that you have the old school and the young school. Rutgers is 257 years and still growing. Proud member of the AAU, very proud to have Miami as part of that cohort. Julio Frank, the president of Miami, who's not here today, incredibly impressive scholar, public health leader, and I want to beat him. Simple as that. Miami is a cosmopolitan city, one of the great ones in the world. Okay, we're in New York. University of Miami is fabulous. I respect the university greatly, and I want to beat them. We can have the press conference afterwards and talk about what a great experience it was on top of all of these other wonderful things. But I just want to emphasize how wonderful the week has been, the treatment we received. Our young athletes have had a tremendously positive experience, and we're thrilled to be part of this great adventure, and we look forward to winning.
Jonathan, thank you. We'll go to Pat.
Thank you. As a lifelong Yankee fan who grew up in the shadow of New York City over New Jersey, this is a pretty special day for Rutgers University, but for me as well. Came into a lot of games here, became a Yankee fan in '64, which if if you know that year, we had some lean years as Yankee fans for a while, and then obviously great success after that. So I want to thank the Yankee organization, the Steinbrenner family, Randy Levine, Mark Holtzman, John Mosley for an absolutely incredible week. And it really is about the young people, the young men who come and get the bowl experience. And it's been a tremendous bowl experience. Going to the 9/11 Memorial, the 9/11 Museum, and most of these young men were not born when that happened, that tragedy befell this city. To see their faces, to see them learn the history, and frankly, to feel the emotions again of that horrific time for us, as our nation, is really meaningful. You don't get that everywhere. As Randy said, you get it here in New York City. I want to congratulate the University of Miami. Great season. Coach Cristobal, who coached at Rutgers for a while, so he's very familiar with Rutgers. And so great season for them. Dan, Joe, congratulations. I want to congratulate Coach Schiano and our staff. They came in 4 years ago, and what they've done is absolutely incredible. They have turned that program, and you're going to see, it may be Miami's home game, but you're going to see a lot of red out there today, and that'll be fun. And it's going to be great for both teams. And I want to thank our president, Jonathan Holloway. From the time he's arrived, he has known the value of athletics, the value of what we can do in terms of being a great marketer, a great brand for the university. And we're seeing that across all of our programs right now. So really, really happy about that. Happy to be in New York City. It's a special place. I joined the mosh pit down at Rockefeller Center the other night, and you just get carried along with thousands of people. It's a lot of fun. So our kids are having fun, and we're looking to a really fun day. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Now it's time to hear from Executive Director Mark Holtzman.
Thank you, Michael. What a great week it's been. Just tremendous. And to cap it all off, we're going to have, as Randy said, a wonderful turnout today. And first of all, I want to thank our title sponsor, Bad Boy Mowers. They don't get any better. What a wonderful partnership that we have with them. And of course, ESPN, who's been with us right from the beginning. But I want to thank both of your institutions. I mean, for the way you marketed this game in your markets, phenomenal. I was outside just before at Billy's and Stan's. It's like Mardi Gras out there. It's just a tremendous crowd. Everyone's very excited. Someone talked to the man upstairs, and it doesn't look like we're going to have any more rain. We're still selling tickets as I'm talking up here, which is great. And it's going to be a packed stadium, which is very exciting. It's been a wonderful week. I got the opportunity to spend a lot of time both with Pat and Dan and Coach Cristobal and Coach Schiano. Got to know their families, and everyone has participated this week in just some wonderful activities. And, we have some, it's not easy, it's sometimes a little tough to move around Christmas week, but Christmas week's a very special week in New York. As Randy said, they write books and make movies about it. And we still did all the staples of what we've done every year. We went to One World Observatory, the 9/11 Memorial, which is so important for these kids to see because that remains that was such a moment in time that no one will ever forget, and most of these kids weren't even born then. It's hard to believe. We rang the bell at the New York Stock Exchange yesterday, which was a real treat for the kids. There's also a charitable function, of course. It's very important to the Yankee organization and Randy and Hal Steinbrenner. With Memorial Sloan Kettering, the Pediatric Center for Cancer, we had a bunch of players go there. We also did the Chalk Talk here at Yankee Stadium for the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club. So we did all the staples, which really make this game very special. I also want to thank the Sheraton and the Hilton, once again provided terrific service. And we're also going to have a unique wrinkle today, which we haven't had before in the game. Our title sponsor, Bad Boy Mowers, came up with this. We're going to have a halftime kicking contest where a representative from Rutgers and a representative from Miami are going to kick and see, and they're going to each make some scholarship money. They get a minimum amount to kick, and it depends how good they think they are. If they want to go back a few yards, they can make a little bit more money. So we're very excited about that. It's a new wrinkle. So make sure at halftime, if you want to get something to drink or eat or something, you go fast because you need to be on the field to watch this. It's going to be really neat. once again, it's been a terrific week, and I can't tell both schools how much we appreciate all the efforts that they made to ignite their fan bases to come to this game. And I think the results are going to show today, and I wish both of you all the luck in the world, and let's have a great game. Thank you.
Mike?
Yeah, go ahead, Randy.
I just want to remind everybody, because we always remind everybody this time of year, this game was possible because the boss, George Steinbrenner, loved college football. He played college football at Williams. He coached at Northwestern and at Purdue. And when we built this stadium, he made sure that it would host college football, could host college football. Yankee Stadium has a phenomenal past with college football. So we always remember him this time of year. I think maybe that's why it stopped raining. He insists on games being great. And Hal and the Steinbrenner family have continued it. So, boss, we know you're watching, and thank you.
Thank you, Randy. And one more thing to mention, we also have the Empire State Building, which was lit in team colors last night and will be lit in the winners' colors following the game tonight. With that, we have time for a few questions. Lloyd?
Joe, you mentioned your memories of Yankee Stadium. I'm remembering the 1978 Joe Pisarcik fumble at the old Giant Stadium. So I have to ask, how difficult was it to deal with the aftermath of that Georgia Tech game? And does it still haunt you? And did you have had to talk to Coach Cristobal about it? I'm just curious of the aftermath of all that.
Well, as a fan, it was painful. We'll start there. And I watched the Pisarcik fumble on TV against the Eagles. So, look, it's one of those difficult moments. Humans, things happen in a game. Lots had to happen in that game for it to turn the way it did. It wasn't one play at one moment in time. People focus on the one play, but there were probably 5 or 6 plays in the last 2 minutes that made a difference in that game. But bottom line, we grew from that. We got tougher, we got stronger, we got more resilient, and we rallied as a team and an enterprise around all of that.
John?
For anyone from either school, obviously we talked to the coaches and the benefits of experience like this as extra practices and extra chance for the kids to compete. From a university perspective, what is the benefit of both being bowl eligible but also being in this one?
Well, I'll talk for Rutgers. It shows that we're taking the next step, right? So it's when Coach came back, we really needed a lot of work as a program. And so these young people, folks sort of dismiss some or critical, like there's too many bowls. And the bowl experience is a fantastic experience for a student athlete. And we saw that this week. And so to have that, to be able to show that's where our program is right now, and every year we expect a good old bowl game, that's a message to young people that Rutgers can be a place where you can succeed, and you can succeed here in the New York metropolitan area, and there's no better place to do it.
Take the next question on the right.
My question's for Dan. You guys announced the Football Operations Center about a year ago. Just what's the status of that? How's that progress coming along?
We're moving forward. It's good. We have some architectural drawings and the construction drawings all pulled together, and when we get back to start the next semester, we'll look to get the final approvals put together, and hopefully we're going to break ground very, very shortly.
Is there any are you looking at certain part of the year for the groundbreaking?
Not yet, but we'll hopefully pull that all together in the first quarter of 2024.
Take the next question, front left.
Thank you. Michael Cohn, Fox Sports New Jersey. This is directed to Pat and John. Just your thoughts about the recruiting process for Rutgers, because you guys continue to recruit very well. You've done very well this year. Just your thoughts about the impact of the improvement of the program, also having the bowl game, and how that's really improving recruiting as well for football. Yeah,
Coach and his staff have done a great job in recruiting, and as I said, being in a bowl game is another important part of that. They work really hard. There's amazing talent in New Jersey, New York metropolitan area, and so you want to get as much of that talent as you possibly can. You can win with Jersey talent, but we're going to recruit across the country. We do a lot of recruiting in Florida as well, but that's what it means. It means that the program is taking the next step. Come to Rutgers. You'll have a great time. You'll be developed as an athlete. You'll get a chance, hopefully, to play in the NFL if that's your ambition. We're watching a lot of our players right now in the NFL have great success. And so that message, I think people are really starting to see that again, and that's what Coach did the first time around, and that's what he's doing now in Greg Schiano 2.0.
We'll take the next question on the right, third row.
Jonathan, it's just a question about the direction of college sports. I'm sure you saw the news with the Charlie Baker letter. I was curious what you thought of that, and perhaps what you think of Rutgers' place in the ever-evolving universe of college sports.
Well, thanks for the question. Answering any question about the state of college athletics depends on what day. Like, I could tell you today, but tomorrow's going to be something different. I've been involved, if you take my college years included from 1985 forward, I've been aware of college sports, either very much aware, living it, or now leading it in a sense through the athletic director. It is hard to imagine a more turbulent moment in the world of college athletics, especially in those sports that are revenue generating, and especially in those sports that are help with Title IX compliance. I mean, large women's sports, for example. So part of it is really exciting. I mean, think about all the positive news we've been hearing about women's basketball, for example, over the last couple of years. After an embarrassing moment we know about in the tournament, you're seeing arenas sell out watching these signature players. That's wonderful for college sports. It's wonderful for universities for reasons that Pat already outlined. I can give you other great positive responses, but it's concerning as well. I mean, we, University of Miami, Rutgers University, we are universities. Our main purpose is research and teaching and elevating potentials for young people to go on and do amazing things. That's what we do. We're about discovery. Sports is a wonderful way to help us tell our story. There is so much money tied up in college athletics now, way more than when I was playing. There's no comparison. So we're in a whole new world, and how we balance the ideals of amateurism, how we balance name, image, and likeness, for example, or employment issues. Every day is something quite new. And so you now have the NCAA president, Charlie Baker, suggesting a whole new way, yet a new way, to think about supporting our athletes as they move forward. It's too early for me and inappropriate for me to offer an opinion now, because that was, a week ago or something like that. We'll see. I mean, we've got a lot of federal cases. We got a lot of lobbying going on in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, and a lot of realignment. I mean, I don't recall, can you recall a moment more turbulent than this one in college sports? My hope is that we all end up in the right place at the end of the day. That is, we're delivering opportunities for our athletes, men and women alike, scholarship, non-scholarship, to get a fabulous education and launch themselves into a wonderful career. If they go in and play professional sports, that's great, but we know the average lifespan of professional sports is just a couple of years. We want to prepare them for a much larger future. Hopefully, coming out of this whole messy moment, we can get to a place where that is affirmed in new and exciting ways. That's my hope.
Jonathan, thank you. We'll stay on the right side of the room.
Yes, this is also for President Holloway, sticking on the big picture issue of name, image, and likeness. From your position as the university president, how involved are you at all in that? And just what is your general feeling on where Rutgers stands in that arena, in the Big Ten, in college sports?
How involved am I in? Am I in NIL?
Yeah, are you having?
I'm not that involved in it, frankly. We are in a really tricky moment everywhere in higher education, where there needs to be bright lines between what I'll call name, image, and likeness as a phenomenon, booster enthusiasm as a phenomenon, corporate enthusiasm as a phenomenon, and the mission of higher education, which is to educate. So there are, we all know there are real lines that need to be kept clear. I'm not saying that correctly. There needs to be bright lines we stay on either side of. And at Rutgers, and I'm sure at Miami, but I'll speak just for Rutgers, we're abiding by that very carefully. But my goodness, NIL 3 years ago? I mean, how many of us outside of this room would have been talking about it? 2 years ago, a little bit more. Now, I mean, everybody. The change is happening so quickly. The possibilities, it's hard to keep track of things. But as a president, my job is to really focus on the academic mission of the university, and I hire folks like Pat to deal with the kinds of questions you just asked me.
We'll stay on the right in the front row.
Another question for Dan. In the wake of FSU, their board of trustees taking steps to consider leaving the ACC, just where do you view Miami's current status in the ACC and how the future of that conference looks?
Well, first of all, for the University of Miami, we're a proud member of the Atlantic Coast Conference and have been for many, many years. As all these things continue to come up into the marketplace and what Florida State is looking to do, we'll be very, very interested observers. But I think the conference is strong. I think we have a good operation there. Would we like to have more resources? Sure. I think everybody would. And we're going to try to move forward and get those within the conference. But at this point in time, we're interested observers and proud members of the ACC.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Again, for everyone, information of the game can be found at www.pinstripebowl.com. We'll be on ESPN at 2:15 and also here at Yankee Stadium if you'd like to come down. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. We'll take a few photos and appreciate the media in attendance.